Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Dave Sharpe. Welcome to Wake Up Legendary. Today is a great day to be online, to be in marketing, and we're going to hear from a guy who wasn't always online, who wasn't always pursuing a venture online. He was actually working the majority of his life in the corporate world. And he had something that was scary happen. And I think a lot of you guys are going to be able to relate to this. So stay tuned, put your seatbelt on, and get ready for a great episode. Listen, if you're brand new here, go ahead and if you'd like to get daily text reminders, you can text the number that's on your screen right now, and we'll actually shoot you a little text message right on your cell phone. We won't spam you. We won't send a bunch of crap. As a matter of fact, I just got my text message reminder that I'm live just a moment ago, and it's just a little text reminder. I don't know if you can see it, but just something very non-intrusive. A little reminder each morning, Monday through Friday when we go live, about what the episode's about, and just a reminder to get on. So you can just text WUL to the number down below on your screen, and you'll get that little reminder every morning. So let's get into the episode. Look, guys, we do this every day. We hear from so many different people, and we try to get a nice, diverse array of experience from people. So with that being said, we're going to bring in today's guest now, all the way from the Netherlands. My friend, Pat, are you there, buddy?
I am here, buddy. Great to be here.
All right, good to see you as well, my friend. I'm getting a little bit of frozenness here on my end. If you guys are seeing that, just all right, Pat. It looks like you're kind of coming in here a little bit. Are you there? Can you see me? Can you hear me? Give me a mic check.
Hey, Pat, go to your camera settings and change yourself to 480p. Change your camera setting to 480p. That'll take a little less bandwidth.
Yeah. Let me just do some stuff.
All right, you're coming in a little bit.
Is this better, Dave?
Yeah. Did you change it to 480p, buddy?
Yeah, I did. Okay. Apparently,
right, good.
Yeah.
Yep, you're coming through. Yep, you're coming through a little bit better now, my friend. Listen, tell us your story, man. Tell us your background, and tell us how you got started in this sort of online world. What's your history? What happened? And let us get to know your experience, because I think there's a lot of people here who can relate to it.
Yeah, thanks. First of all, I want to thank you for the opportunity to put my story out there, because I really believe in these morning calls. It's my it's 4 o'clock actually, so it's not really morning for me. But it feels like my morning huddle every day. And well, to start my story, taking you back like what it's been, and I did what everybody did. I went to electricians, and I started to work, and slowly but surely for the same company. I just grew a little and got to be a team lead, and grew a little more, and along the line, it started nagging me. What started nagging me is that there was more for me in store. And I started getting more and more trouble getting into work, until I think this was the end of 2018. I got a big scare. I actually thought it was the 7th of December, and I thought I had a heart attack. I went into the kitchen, got my cup of coffee, like I did every morning, not feeling great. And my wife said, "Look, you're looking gray, and you're not looking good. and I actually got in my car and I went to my job, and well, all things being said, it thank God it wasn't what we thought it was, but it did change my mindset. It really did change my mindset. So I started searching for something different to do, and to put my time in, because things like that, having something like that happen to you, even if you just, well, I got lucky because I didn't really get the attack, but just in your mind, something changes.
Yeah.
And it was like, and in the 2 decades of corporate, I worked really hard and did all it, and you know, it to me, but it just ate me up. It ate me up, and it, well, eventually, my being in that company spat me out, and where I was, the 10th of December at home, and feeling like my body actually just, well, gave up on me.
Wow.
So that was a long road, and and along that road, you know, I started to realize what's important to me. And that's my family. That's and I've always had the dream of somehow giving something back, because I you know, I've had luck in my corporate life, or luck. I've had the chances, let's call it that, and I wanted to do something back. So beginning of this year, and that was a struggle, because you can imagine if you work somewhere for 23 years, you kind of, yeah, it becomes a big part of you. And but well, the struggle ended somewhere. Well, it ended in March this year, because right when the pandemic hit, I decided to stop working there. And people, like, they were like, "Are you nuts? Are you out of your mind? You've got a great job, and why?" And but it just hit me, Dave. I was with my director at the time, and we had one of these bilaterals like we always had every week. And right there and then, I was always, and before that, I was always telling myself, you know, it's a good company. They pay you nice money. It's something you can do. It's a challenge. They've got a great pension. And right there in that talk, he said to me, "Hey, Pat, how are you doing? What do you want to talk about?" And it shot into my head. If I stay here, I will never make that pension. I won't make it. I got lucky last time. I don't want to wait again. So I said, I want to stop. And that was actually, and he was a great guy, but that was actually the last day I worked for that company. And they took good care of me. And still everyone was saying, "Well, wait, you're at home. You're not doing any work. Wait, shouldn't you?" But I got, what they blessed me in a way that they made sure, I asked them if I could just have a few months to find myself. And, you know, I got those few months. And I know it sounds like, it maybe sound a little cheesy, but you know how people always say, when you close one door, that's when the next one opens. And that's what happened to me. I'm now, I have a day job, because I'm doing all the things wrong you guys warned us about in the 15 days and in the blueprints, and I'm learning along the way, and I'm surely but slowly getting this, well, infant company, because I've been with you guys since June, I believe July somewhere, getting it there, and so, but my day job is actually, I work for another installer now, and it's like, it's so congruent with what you guys have taught me, that the point being is that door that opened is actually getting everything together in my life to when do give back. For the installer day job, I can give back to people that don't have any work, to give them work in my own, and this is actually, because I know how you guys say do organic traffic, and now the hot thing is TikTok, of course. And I was like, no, this is not the TikTok face. This is not TikTok face. So no, let's just, I'll just do Facebook ads. and Matt warned me, listen, Facebook is gonna, you know, hunker down at you and shut down your account. You won't get why. And I was like, no, I can be, I read all this stuff, and well, they did, and they've, like, still not a TikTok face, but and then, like, 3 weeks ago, they started shutting down, and I think it's something to do with the election. They started shutting down everything, and they even shut down accounts I hadn't used before. And that's when it switched. I thought, even if this is not a TikTok face, it's going on TikTok because I want to make that brand. I want to start having the time to help people.
Yeah.
And I've seen so many inspirational people around us in the group, and so I started copying them. And then, like last week, I think 1.5 weeks ago, I did a duet with Jonathan Montoya, and it went boom. It went boom, Dave. And then I thought, you guys are right. I knew you were right, but this was not a TikTok face. And but now it is, and at 4K now, and the leads are coming in. It's not yet consistent, but the leads are coming in. And I'm proud to say that today is the first day I actually have I have some coaching calls planned for today. Just people who want to know more, have the free half-hour thing. And so getting there.
Dude, incredible. So you've got a sign that is behind you, and I can't help but to think that was on purpose, that you have that, so tell us about that. I mean, why is that quote, "Please do not feed the fears"? Why is that so important that you chose to both A, have it hanging in your probably workspace, but B, actually have it there behind you during this show?
Yeah. You see, Dave, because if there was one thing I have always been very good in, is exactly this. My fears. Sorry, my fears are very well fed. They're like, if I imagine how they look like, they're right in front of me, and it's been, and one of the things that really stayed with me in your motivational audio that you get, there's a clip, and you say, you come in here and you think, I'm going to get some people in front of my offer and do what I need to do, and very soon you think, oh, back a little bit. This is about me, and this journey has been about me so much that I constantly need to remind myself, don't feed the fears. Don't think it's not a TikTok face. Don't think it's a saturated market. Don't think this is not for you. Don't think you need, 10K in studio equipment to get started, and just let that all go. And that's what I let go. And it's been a process in the last couple of months. And you know what the thing is? Every time I say to one of those fears, I'm not feeding you anymore. You can be here, but you're just looking at stuff. You're not part of the process anymore. That's when something magical happened. And it happened when I stopped the 23-year corporate business thing. And it happened when I said, well, no more Facebook, let's do TikTok. And I've been seeing that consistently along my journey in the last couple of months. So if there's any advice I can give to people, the people who just started or just looking at getting started, is don't feed your fears. If you're scared, that's exactly where you need to be, because this is new. This is get comfortable would be, I think that's one of your quotes too. Get comfortable at being scared, because that's where you're learning new stuff and being the entrepreneur you say you want to be.
Yeah.
So
there, I think that's a great quote. The question is, and I love to hear your experience about, the fact, and also your awareness that you have fed the fears. They're well fed. You said that they've got big bellies, like your fears, they got meat on their bones. They're strong. They got big bellies, and they're fat and happy. Right.
Yeah.
So
they are.
how have you, I guess, first of all, explain to us how you think that you have, or how do you feed your fears? How does that show up in your life?
Okay, well, it's
because here's the reason why I ask, Pat. Here's the reason why I ask, because some people may not even realize that they are feeding fears, right? but they're doing it. So on
Yeah.
one hand, they like the idea of not feeding fears, but they're not quite aware of all of the different ways. And I think the way that fear creeps in is very cunning. It's very sneaky.
Yeah.
So that's why I asked the question.
Yeah. So, and this has been a longer journey in the last half year, but it starts with not even seeing the difference between a thought and an emotion, and fear is a sneaky emotion because it'll creep into your head and like just be that little voice that says you're not an online marketer. And to me, because I'm doing this because I've learned how to visualize it, because I've learned how to visualize my internal dialogue, because I think that's where it is. That's where it's at. The internal dialogue saying to you, and well, you know the theories. It's there because, like, I don't know how long ago when we were walking around in little tiger skirts, this saber-tooth tiger was a dangerous thing. So when your mind would say, "This is a saber-tooth tiger," you would go, and that's a good thing. Yeah. But now these days, I haven't seen any saber-tooth tigers lately. But the fear thing, the emotion that wants to keep you safe, not happy, wants to keep you safe, is still going, you're not an online marketer. You can't do this. You don't have a TikTok face. So, and I learned to visualize it. And you know what I did? I can't remember which one, but it's a very powerful audiobook. And it's also a book, of course, but I tend to like audiobooks more. And what they say is acknowledge the fear. Don't push it away. It's part of you. Just don't make it a defining part of you. So what I did, and this is actually very personal, I wrote a letter to my fear. I wrote a letter to my inner critic saying, listen, man, you've been very helpful along the line, maybe getting rid of a saber-tooth tiger or something, but you're not anymore. You can be in the room, but you're not going to define who I am anymore. And it still happens. Every day, Dave, every TikTok, every decision I make, it still happens. But he's here. But he's getting slimmer and slimmer every day because I'm not feeding him anymore.
I love that you wrote that. I love that you wrote that letter, brother. I mean, that really is taking something outside of your head and putting it in putting it out there in real life. And oftentimes, one of my favorite things to do is take fears in internal dialogue that I have and then say them out loud to somebody and realize how silly they sound. That's one of my favorite things to do. Now it was awkward and uncomfortable when I first, and most people don't want to do that because they're afraid to sound silly. And so was I when I first started doing it. But when I realized how powerful it was, then I try to take the opportunity anywhere I can to put the silly internal thoughts that I have out in the open. And then I say, gosh, I've now begun to, even as I'm saying them, say, God, this sounds silly to say, but here's what's actually going on in my head right now. And it helps to bring light. And it's like you ever seen like almost like a vampire, when the light hits it loses its power, it loses its power. A fear to me in a negative internal dialogue is like a vampire that thrives in the dark. It sucks in the dark. But when I expose it to the light, so tell me anything that you want to add to that. I'm also interested in where you got the idea to write the letter to yourself, and just interested to hear more about how that process went down for you.
Yeah. So the interesting thing is I can't remember which book, but I'll look it up and I'll drop it in the comments for anybody that would like to go down that path. But the interesting thing is it's a part of a 3-part series. First, you write to fear, or you write to your inner critic. They actually call it your inner critic. And the weird thing is, while you are writing that, or while I was writing that, he talked to me. He said, no, this is BS. this is not right. I need to steer this boat. You're not. No, let's just stay somewhere in this company. You've been there very long, and just, well, in my case, probably die there. But that's the first letter. And what happens there is you put it outside your head, just like you say, you put it in the light, and when I read it, it's dumb. It's just dumb. And the second letter is writing to yourself. And I'm a strong believer in visualization and writing down your goals and being very, very specific in what you write down. I'm not always as good as I want to be at it, but so you write to yourself what you want to be and what you want to become. And my first one was I want to become an entrepreneur, because I want to retire my wife and a year later retire myself. And whenever we can, I want to be at one of Dave's masterminds, shaking your hand, saying thank you for this journey. But the thing is, that was not specific enough, because I can retire at 72. So in that process, and it's a great process, you learn to look at yourself, look at your inner dialogue, and put that outside of yourself and recreate another internal dialogue. And now every time he does this, tries to get fat again, I read the other one. I read the goals. I read where I want to be. I'm just going to say it on camera. I want to retire my wife April next year, because that's her birthday, at the 11th of April. Don't all come, but and that's specific, because I'm making enough money to replace her income and have her do her dreams. And a year after that, if everything goes like I wanted to, I'm going to retire myself. I'll be 44 then. That's a nice round number. And I want to start helping people. Yeah, it's 2 4s, and I want to start really helping people. I have a dream, Dave. When Legendary the morning calls start, there's this clip of you on stage. That's my dream, Dave. That's where I feel I belong. But I'm not there by a mile, because I still need to do all the small steps in what you guys teach us to get there. But yeah, so put fear outside of your head, and I think you nailed it. That's beautiful how you said it, because in the light, it dissolves, it becomes insignificant, and I stuff my head with positivity. I stuff my head with positive audiobooks. I stuff my head with learning the mechanics of how your brain works, how your inner dialogue works, because I know there's going to be a day I'm going to be on that stage right before I have to go on, and then something inside me will say, "This is not for you," because he's still going to be there. And when I do that, I want to embrace that. I want to embrace that fear and say, "Let's do it. Let's rock this. Let's rock this joint and really help these people find themselves." This comes really close to me. And really help these people find themselves. So yeah. It's a mission, man.
Yeah. and it's personal to you, and that's what makes it powerful. And I think everybody making it personal is where you can dig down the deepest and find the most powerful fuel. Because they're just like at a gas pump. Has anybody ever been to a gas pump and seen 3 different levels of fuel? Right? Sure, we all have. One is diluted, one is or whatever. But we know that one's the most powerful. I don't know what differentiates it, but I know one's more expensive, and supposedly it's a better gas. And I think that the different things that we find motivation from have different potency as well. And the more personal you can make it, I've found, the more that you'll stick with it, the more that you'll fight for it. And that's why one of the reasons why I talk and teach about using the idea of seeing your story through, really reframing your life and your story as you being the hero, and realizing all the things that you've overcome, and realizing how far that you've came in your life, and actually wanting to see that through, wanting to actually get to a point, and I don't think we ever arrive, but continuously live for the challenge of doing the right thing when nobody's looking, striving to be the best self that you can be. I mean, and I think most importantly, again, looking back at everything that's happened in your life and realizing that you're a survivor, realizing that you have gotten through everything that you've gotten through, and that you've done that. I was sitting with my 4-year-old this morning, and she's just learning to write, actually, and sound letters out and spell words. And she spelled a word, and she wanted me to do it for her, but she I made her do it, just like everything. I make her do it. You figure it out, I say.
Yeah.
And she wrote it out, and I said, you did that. From the very time that we were born, we've been figuring things out. We've been doing the impossible. We've been defying the odds, each one of us. That's what life's all about. Life is about suffering, and life is about becoming victorious over those challenges. Look at you're in the Netherlands. Look at the United States right now. We are going through challenges as a country right now. But you know what? What makes us great is we will get through it. We will get through it. And what makes the country great also, and why we love the country and why I think people admire the United States, is because we have had lots of challenges and we've overcome them all to be the best that we can be today. Yeah. And we're still here, and we're still trying. And I think that can be said about every country, but most importantly, every person. And so seeing your story through, becoming the hero of your own story, instead of looking at everybody else and saying, oh, good for them, I'm so inspired by them, too bad I'll never have that opportunity, or too bad that'll never happen to me. Well, the truth is, it'll never happen if you don't take the opportunity to begin to look at yourself and see all that you have been through and all that you have overcome. Certainly, it's actually happening, but you're just not paying attention because we play ourselves down so much, right? We do not only do we feed the fears, but we feed the inner critic. And before you know it, we become invisible to ourselves. We become invisible to ourselves. And then we wonder why we feel unseen and unheard by others, because we've become invisible to ourselves. We no longer see ourselves. And that, my friends, that is, I think, that's the fall of man. That's like the forbidden fruit, if you will. And I think there's a lot of things in society that contribute to that. I don't want to go into all of those spider webs, but it's a tragedy when we become invisible to ourselves, and we must see ourselves again. We must see ourselves again in order for others to see us, in order for others to acknowledge us, especially as adults. Your childhood is over. If you didn't get what you needed in your childhood to build self-esteem and build a positive inner voice, too bad, so sad. I feel for you. I can relate. We all have certain things that we may have needed more of, but now it is your time to begin to see yourself and to begin to acknowledge yourself and to begin to love yourself and to begin to believe that you deserve more, that you deserve everything that anyone else has the chance to get or has. And that sort of self-care and self-love, which is one of the main principles that we teach our team inside Legendary. The 20 plus person team that we have inside Legendary, I'm constantly, encouraging people to be themselves and do self-care, and it's all about loving yourself, man. It's all about acknowledging yourself. It's all about feeding your self-esteem, so we can begin to say, wow, I do have a story. Wait, I do deserve success. Wait, I am better than I've been talking to myself. I am better than I've allowed other people to talk to me and treat me as well. But it starts with us, right? And I have a feeling that you're on that journey, brother. And I think that's what makes this community so powerful, is because we're receptive to that idea. And we're a group of people who are realizing that it's not just the mechanics, man. It's these dynamics that we're talking about that are so important. It's the dynamics, not the mechanics, because we can all go and work ourselves to death. We've all proven that. We've done it for jobs and bosses we hate. We can work. We can learn. We can do. But it's hard for us to be.
That's it. Yeah. Just be. And, and to add to that, it's I think it's an integral part of entrepreneurship to always want to evolve and go forward. And just keeping in mind that brings a pitfall with it, that you tend to not look back, exactly like you explained to us just now, and realize, really live what you've done, what you've achieved, what you've survived, as you survived, if you will. And so I've seen so much. One of the last things I would have expected getting on board with Legendary is seeing exactly this. So this is where you bring the difference, the value to all the $30 ebooks you can buy everywhere that just sell you an ebook and then nothing. Just, this has been such a beautiful part of my journey in the last couple of months. Just, learning to appreciate you for who you are and what you've survived and what you do. And at the same time, knowing that you're going to be scared, and again, this was something, because I keep on listening to all your audio clips, and that's one of the assignments, right? Keep your mind stuffed with positivity. Listen to the audio clips, and just be your best self, and be proud of who you are, no matter who you are, and where you're coming from, and how far you are along this path, and I get inspiration from all the guys who are further than me, but now in the beginning it was overwhelming. Now I'm thinking, Dave, get that 6-figure ring from me. I think I might be coming for it in a year. and a year ago, that would be me. I would think to myself, oh yeah, that's not for you. But now I'm thinking, set the goal, put in the work, be consistent. Just like you said, make your brand something people want to connect to, and so for now, that for me means 3 TikToks a day at least, because Facebook's not letting me do anything. But the point is, it's a great journey, and just thank you guys for that, and thank you all the people that inspire me in the Facebook groups and blow up my TikTok with things I can do it. I don't always have the inspiration.
Yeah, man. Well, I think that's one of the reasons why this show is so important. Is that I truly believe that if somebody tunes into this for 12 months straight, they will not recognize their own thinking, because they will have heard conversations that are just different than what they've been exposed to. So that's my invitation to all of you guys. Go through the 15-day challenge, get into our blueprints if you can, and every day come back here and listen to somebody like Pat, who we're going to be hearing from a lot. Not only today, obviously, thanks for your time. I'm glad we couldn't do it before because you were traveling, but we did it today. And your video hasn't been the clearest, but I'll tell you what, your message has. So thank you for that. And please come back and keep us updated with more of your journey and more of your, what it's been like to evolve as you. Okay. Thank you so much, brother.
Thanks, Dave, for the opportunity. Great.
All right, my friends. There it is. All right. And as I said, go through the challenge. If you're new here, stick and stay, and let this stuff sink in. Let this stuff sink in. Give it some time to actually marinate. Give it some time to marinate. Come back here, meet us here every Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern time, and you can sign up for those text reminders just to make sure that you never forget that at least we're doing this, whether you come or not, that it's happening. And to know that we're here and that we're speaking directly to you. Okay. We're speaking directly to you and we're here for you. Again, 7 days a week. Legendary is working on your behalf to support you every step of the way. 5 days a week, we're going live absolutely free, sometimes for up to an hour. It's not about me. It's about all of these incredible people that come on every single day, real people, real clients, real students, real legendary marketers, just like you. Don't you look at these people and think, oh, they're different from me. They're no different from you. They are you. They are you. You can do this too. Have a fantastic Friday. Have a great weekend. We'll see you back here Monday for Wake Up Legendary. Be legendary. We'll talk.